Ask a petrolhead to name their top 10 car films and the 1969 cult classic The Italian Job would be very high up that list. 2019 marked 50 years since the film was released and 60 years of the Mini, so we went to Italy to revisit the locations that made the film so memorable. And if you want to do a similar trip, here are the places you need to visit. Right, it's day one. We've just picked up the cars from the Mini dealership, but we've had to get them washed because they were rather filthy. And I know in the film the cars get filthy because they go through sewers, but we thought we'd start off with the cars clean. You may have noticed I'm the only one so far who's actually bothered to dress up into their costume. I suppose it's the thespian in me. But anyway, right, we've got to get cracking because we've got to get to the Alps before the snow starts, so excuse me. We're in the Alps because there's some donkeys over there with like cowbells on, making a right old racket. But we're at the Cerosol Reale, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's basically like the reservoir. This is the bottom of the Col de Nivolet, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is the mountain road used in the film where the coach goes all the way up to the top and then dangles over the edge. At the moment, the weather is looking all right. No rain, nice and dry. But if we look up towards those mountains, it looks pretty cloudy up there. But fingers crossed, it's going to be all right. One other thing I need to talk to you about is we've stuck some GB stickers on the back of the Minis just to ram home the Britishness of them. Yeah, they're actually sheep, and they're getting rather close, so I think I'm going to run away. Now, if you're lucky enough to actually get up to this road, this is the place of pilgrimage because this is the place where the coach went over the edge. Now, it came down there, obviously not a tarmac road, but it came down there on the gravel, lost control, the back end swung round and it ended up over there teetering on the edge. Now, they've recently made this into a tourism spot with fencing and signage and lovely, lovely benches, but up until fairly recently, it was identical to how it was in the film, even to the point where they'd moved the concrete blocks to actually allow the coach to go over the edge. And what an edge it is. Look at this view. Now, there's two lakes. There's the Agnelle and the Cebu. Probably mispronounced them, but you can see them both there. With 2,600 metres above sea level. And the thing that strikes you the most standing here is you can see the road winding all the way up. And you can't help but think, how on earth did they manage to get the coach all the way up to this point? Now, if you've got a spare 5 minutes when you come up here, you've got to head up just a little bit up over the rocks because there's a special plaque to the coach driver. Now, he died in, I think, 2003, and they've erected a little plaque for him. Really, really lovely little thing.
Keep coming.
You sure?
100% certain.
It's rather close to the edge, isn't it?
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Keep going.
Well, that's a sheer drop there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, we've just got to the road where the film starts, not the bit where the Lamborghini is moving up the wiggly, windy road. We've come to the most famous bit, probably the most iconic shot in the Italian Job, actually, which is the tunnel shot where the Lamborghini crashes and the mafia is waiting for Beckerman. So we're just trying to work out what we're going to do. And there's talk of us standing on the ledge trying to look like the mafia, and I'm not very keen on that, really. I don't really like climbing. So that's what we're about to do. Right, day two, and we've come to probably the place in the Italian Job film which is most loved by Italian Job fans, and that's the Lingotto test track, or more commonly known as the old Fiat factory rooftop test track. And I'll let you into a bit of a secret. We've booked this place with the authorities concerned, and yet nobody's turned up to help us. So we've got free reign of the test track and the famous little road, the ramps that come all the way up. I mean, this place is absolutely dripping with atmosphere, and it's just such a really special place. But we're going to have our work cut out today because you can probably hear it. It is absolutely pouring down with rain. There's even thunder and lightning out on the test track. So hopefully we can get some really good shots and we don't get too wet in the process. But I don't really care because I'm in probably the coolest place on earth right now. I'm in my natural pose here, being a hard man, which is setting up for probably the leader shot, the header shot of us trying to recreate the heist. And as my colleagues here, look, they're well in the past. Sam looks particularly mean with his beard.
Well, how would you swing the pick at? Oh, sorry, it's here.
Now, it doesn't take a lot of explaining what this building is. It's the, if you really want to know, it's called the Palavella. And the Minis, they drive along this little grass embankment here, and they drive up a set of scaffolding that was erected especially for the film, right up on top of the roof, and then they splayed out to get away from the sole Italian police car. Now, it's changed quite a bit since 1968, 69. But I think it was for the Winter Olympics in 2006, and they've kept the roof, but the building underneath has changed quite a lot. I have to say, they haven't improved the look of the building at all. When it was built in the 60s, it was quite an elegant-looking building, but now it looks a little bit run down, a little bit all over the place. But when you're standing here, the thing that strikes you the most is how they got the Minis right on the top and then down the sides, because obviously it gets to a certain point where the cars would just lose grip and just fall straight off. But I suppose that was the genius of Remy Julien, the guy in charge of the stunts. I certainly wouldn't like to have done it, and I don't think I would have liked to have done it in our new cars as well, what with traction control and all sorts of fancy safety systems. But yeah, it's quite a special place.
Get back into it.
Now we've ditched the cars in some underground car park in the centre of Turin, and we're going to do the remaining locations on foot. And obviously, in this particular location, the Minis drove through here. Now we can't do that, obviously, because it'd be against the law. Secondly, we haven't got permission. And thirdly, I don't think a modern Mini would actually fit along here. And it's amazing to think they actually sent the Minis down there, all the way along here at speed, in this location. And this location has not changed at all. It looks almost identical. Well, it looks identical to how it was 50 years ago. The Italian Job could have been shot yesterday.
Well, that's where they came out.
Well, they're supposed to come out there. They didn't actually. They came out another location.
And then out into
It's
the square.
empty, as if they come down there. It's just like it. I don't know. You can actually even see there's a piece of glass up there with a word painted on it, and it's exactly the same as it was in the film.
While the shopping arcade looks exactly how it was half a century ago, the place where the heist was filmed has changed slightly. It's Turin's town hall in Piazza Palazzo di Città and sits on a pedestrianised road. The square seems much smaller than it does in the film, but I suppose places always look larger on film than they do in real life. To get out of the centre of Turin, you need to cross the weir. When the film was shot, a small wooden bridge was constructed to allow the minis to cross back onto the quay. But apart from that not being there any longer, it all looks the same as it did 50 years ago. Cross the Vittorio Emanuele Bridge eastwards, and right in front of you will be the Grand Madre di Dio Church. This is where the minis bounce down the steps, interrupting a wedding. Apart from some railings blocking off the steps, again, it's eerily similar to how it would have looked in the film. Carry on eastwards and head up onto the hill and you'll find a large stately building overlooking the city. This is the Villa della Regina, and it's where Michael Caine and the gang suit up and prepare for the heist. So there we are then, a whistle-stop tour of the places that became famous in such an iconic film. Read the full feature in the 2019 Christmas special of Auto Express or online. And as ever, make sure you subscribe to the Auto Express YouTube channel, and thanks for watching.
Hold still, hold still, hold still. The gold is pulling the coach over the edge. Hang on a minute, lads. I've got a great idea.